Yeah, coming right back on that motherfucking ass. G-Lew, the homie D West. Yeah, we finna take a ride, homie. Ride. Yeah. Bank I left on Broadway, right on Casanova. Yeah. I pray that I don't have to see death around the corner. Reading scriptures in my Bible, John 3:16. I remember when I used to pack a M16. Yeah. Dipping in my caddy, looking way too clean. Bumping Love is a House by the Force MD. Yeah. I gotta get paid, and I don't like to dream, so I hustle day and night. I don't get no sleep. 25/8 every minute, every hour. Me and Weston put the finishing touches on Twin Towers. Money and the power, the lesser two evils. Just put God first and what I preach to my people. Every day I wake up trying to dig deeper. I once was a follower, but now I'm a leader. Okay. What up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Questions and Answers, Manic Mondays with G-Lew. Yeah. What up, everyone? I am G-Lew. This is Q&A with G-Lew. Hold up. This is Q&A with G-Lew. We are back for another episode, man. What up, everyone? Hope everyone had a blessed week. Since last time you seen me, you know what I mean? This is part 2. Q&A. I told you we're going to try to keep it going. You know what I mean? Doing our thing, you know what I mean? That song you heard at the beginning, that's me and the homie D West. Album out right now, Twin Towers, various artists, G-Lew, D West, the homie CR. A lot of special appearances that's out right now on all digital platforms. Go make sure you go download that, check it out, support it. Right, so we're back for Q&A once again on the G-Lew show. Tonight we got 3 questions. That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do 3 questions and 3 answers. Tonight's questions came from the homegirl Lydia Compton. The homeboy Julio in Paramount, and the homie Robert Thomas in the A-Town. You know what I'm saying? So tonight, Q&A, G-Lew, we're back once again. And the first question I'm going to kick y'all off with is from the homegirl Lydia in Compton. She wants to know, what do you think, G-Lew, about beefing on the internet? Beef on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of that shit going on these days, right? Beef on the internet. And she asked me, what do I think about it? This show is sponsored by Drunken Chef Barbecue. Make sure you follow the homeboy Drunken Chef Barbecue on YouTube. He got the best rub spices in the game. My favorite is Summer Heat. That's the G-Lew special. Make sure you holler at Drunken Chef. Let him know you want that Summer Heat. The G-Lew special, he'll give you a special discount. Okay? And also Player Made Clothing. Check out my homeboy Big Flossy, Player Made Clothing. Follow them on IG. The website is playermadeclothing.com. Get you that fresh Player Made clothing gear. Clothing made for players. Also, this show is sponsored by the G-Lew Show 5th Annual Reunion, going down April 26th in Los Angeles at the Mansion, baby. RSVP now. Get at Dee Harrison on IG. To RSVP, or you get at me. It's going down April 26th, 7 to 12 p.m. Don't miss it. So, questions and answers. The first question is, like I said, beef. Beef on the internet. What do you think about it, G-Lew? My take on beef on the internet is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? As you see, everything that's going on right now on the internet in these YouTube streets, whether it be IG, YouTube, whatever, it's a lot of beef going on, and I think it's frivolous bullshit because you don't get anything out of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you see these guys today that beef on the internet, and it's like it's different because I came up in a different time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit older. I came up in them 90s. You know what I'm saying? And like late 80s, 90s. And, shit was a little different back then. Shit was real. We didn't have internet. You know what I mean? So you had to literally see people, and people was outside. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't be popping it, doing what you do, and didn't think you were going to see someone. You know what I'm saying? You seen people every day, whether it be at school, whether it be just walking around, because We had to walk before we had cars and all that. We had to walk. We was on the bus. We was on the RTD. You know what I'm saying? I'm on RTD, baby, before MTA, before the metro buses and all that. We didn't have trains and all that. We had the RTD, rough, tough, and dangerous, rough, tough, and dirty, however you put it. You know what I'm saying? That was the bus system in LA. You know what I'm saying? It was the RTD, and we used to be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? As a youngin', 12, 13, we were all over the place, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you just could not I don't know. I'm going back a little bit, but let me get back on track, on topic, internet beef. I see a lot of people these days, man, with these young guys who put everything out on the internet. You know what I mean? They go live on their IG, or they go live on the YouTube page and be popping it. You know, I'm out here, I'm over here, and all this. And we've even seen with this internet beef, we've even seen people get unalive live in real time. I mean, we see some stuff nowadays that I thought I would never see. We seen a young guy, it was a couple years ago, get killed right on IG Live. Like, the dude was live, going on live, popping it. You know, I don't know what he was popping. I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the young guy. And this is not pointing him out, but I'm just giving an example of how beefing and all this stuff, people will literally go live on their YouTube or IG or whatever, and be popping it and talking their stuff and all that. And I guess people don't think real things can happen. You know, and we've seen it in real time. We literally seen a dude get unalived on YouTube Live. And I thought that was crazy, man. You know, cause young guys nowadays feel like they have so much to prove. You know what I mean? And I get it. When you're young, you're coming up in the ranks, or you're doing your thing or whatever, or you're promoting what you're promoting. You're supposed to be where you're from, whatever neighborhood you're from, whatever label or title you hold. You know what I mean? You're trying to earn your stripes. You know what I mean? So you do it by any means necessary. Whether I mean going at someone else, popping it, claiming to be this and that. And I just don't think people realize how serious life and death can be. You know what I mean? Life and death can be just like that. You know what I mean? And I think we're in a time now where people take life for granted. You know what I mean? They take their life for granted. And that's what I see with a lot of these young guys. And not to say people haven't been taking it. We took our lives for granted. We did a lot of crazy things. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of stuff that I'm definitely not proud of. You know what I mean? But I think the difference was when we were coming up, it's no different. You know what I mean? Because when you're young, you definitely go against the grain. You do things that you wouldn't expect. You can't believe, like even me, I think about things we did or homies I know that did, that I can think back and like, wow, you know what I mean? We're really blessed to be here right now. You know what I mean? But I think it was still a thin line and like boundaries, you know what I mean? And things that we knew we couldn't do, how we could do it and how we couldn't do it. And I think that line has been totally blurred or either totally wiped out, where people nowadays, these youngsters nowadays really don't have rules, you know what I mean, on how they get down. Like I said before, we had rules, pecking orders. We had big homies and different things we respected. You know what I'm saying? Even if it didn't seem like it, we definitely had things that we respected. We had pecking orders. We knew we had big homies. We knew it was consequences to certain things you did. Like I said, you had to really be outside so people knew where you lived, different things like that. Enemies knew where you lived, where you hung out at, where you were going to be at, where you went to school at. So it was consequences to what you did. Even though you were still reckless, it was consequences. And I think people nowadays have just taken the rules out of the rule book. It ain't no rule book. And I think it's also a disconnect with younger homies and their older homies. Like nowadays, younger homies don't really respect older homies. They don't respect the foundation rules that were laid down before they got here, rules before they were doing what they doing. Because now homies bang, gang bang, hustle, do whatever they do, and they just think they think they made this shit up. Like this shit wasn't going on before they got here. And I think that's where this shit gets blurred at, because this world, this game, this street, this neighborhood, all these things that you're doing now and you're claiming were going on way before you got here, bro. Way before you got here. This shit been going on. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun. And I think that's where a lot of times these youngsters get that misconstrued or get that twisted. They think that they invented this shit. This shit wasn't going on before. I'm that dude now. Fuck these other homies, the older homies, how they did it, what was going on before. I'm the one now. You dudes just old. You don't know what you talking about and all these things. That's what it seems like to me. If I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm wrong, correct me. But that's what it seems like is going on today, that people don't respect the foundation that was laid before them, what was going on before them. And we're seeing it time and time again, day after day, time after time, where a lot of youngsters are dying, very young, and they're really dying for nothing. And now people, we're in a time of clout. You know, clout is the new drug. Even though these youngsters are on hella drugs too. You know, that's the thing now too, to be on drugs and high out of your mind. People are on these NOS, balloons, and all type of shit, right? Again, not saying people weren't on drugs before, but it was just a little different. You know what I mean? So people are out of their mind. They don't think clear, and they don't know it only takes a couple of seconds to get in a world of trouble, but it takes a whole lifetime to get out of it. And we're seeing that now with people. Youngsters are going to prison by the hundreds, thousands. You know, prison is a big business now. It's been taken to a different level. You know, if you're in California, where I am now, everyone knows California has the biggest prison system, not only in the country, I think in the world. There's more prisons in California than anywhere else, and they're steady building them, and it still ain't enough. You know, it's a point now where they ship people out to different states. It's so many prisoners that they can ship you out. You could get sentenced to a state bid, and they can ship you to Arizona. You know what I mean? Nevada or some place like that. You know, it's crazy. And it's like these youngsters still ain't really realizing it or understanding what's going on. And it's like people are dying for nothing, going to prison for nothing over neighborhoods that we don't own. And this ain't nothing new under the sun. And like I said, I'm not blaming the gang banging and whatever we do or the youngsters do on them specifically, because if you grow up in a certain environment, a certain neighborhood where that is going on, you are a product of your environment. That's not just a cliche or something people say. You are a product of your environment. You know, and youngsters are very easily influenced, and especially if you don't have the proper role models, the proper guidance, parents. A lot of times people's parents are doing the same thing. And we're in a time now, like I said again, time when I came up, you know, a lot. We had like parents and stuff that not all, but a lot of our parents weren't into what we were doing. They were regular citizens and worked jobs and did different things. So we knew right from wrong. We chose to do what we wanted to do, but we definitely knew right from wrong. We had parents, and if you had mom or dad, some people did, some didn't. But if you had a mom, she definitely worked and tried her best to raise you right, keep you out of the streets, keep a roof over your head, all these things, right? Now we're in a time where the parents, the role models, encourage a lot of the shit that the youngsters do. Like, no longer are parents really parents. Parents are friends now to the kids. Unfortunately, you know, I've seen it firsthand. They're friends to the kids instead of parent. So it's hard to guide them. Like, some parents are even scared of their kids, and if you're not scared of them, you baby them so much. Especially mothers that have young men that they're raising. I've seen it firsthand. They're raising these boys, but they're not understanding the influence these boys are having in the streets, what they're really doing. And they're not, I don't know. They're not raising them to be men. They're raising them to be boys and depending on them, or letting them do what they want to do, to where they're not being raised properly. And I'm not blaming the moms, because moms got to do what they got to do, and they love their boys, their kids, their daughters, whatever. And they may not have a proper role model in the house. The daddy ain't there. So they may have boyfriends and different things, and that's another thing. It's hard for a boyfriend or a stepdaddy to come in. Even if they want to do the right thing, it's hard because it's an uphill battle. If you're a stepdad, you're a boyfriend, it's hard, especially if those girls got boys, because they're not gonna respect you. It's gonna be hard. So it's an uphill battle for the mom, the dad, the boyfriend, the stepdad, and the dad. You know, but let me get back on track. Beef on the internet is what's going on now, and what do I think of it? I don't like it. I think it's unhealthy. Um, I think it's become a phenomenon because the internet is a whole different beast. I think the internet is very much a gift and a curse. It's a beautiful thing that we got the internet now, and everyone can have a voice, have a face. You can become Instagram famous, YouTube famous. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do. If you're doing music, you can promote your music on the internet. So the internet is a beautiful thing, but it also has become a curse in a way where um, it's corrupted everyone. Everyone would do anything to be YouTube famous. So that clout is what is taking over, especially these youngsters, man. Because most of the youngsters now grow up on the internet. We're not in a place now where people go outside, play, run around. They do, but most of the youngsters' time is spent on the internet. So this beef stuff is a whole different monster. And what do I think about it? Lydia, I don't like it. I wish it was something we could do about it, but I think it's gone too far, and I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Beef on the internet is not cool, and if it's something you could do, if you can, anyway, encourage youngsters, step in, talk to them, because I think that's what's needed. Even though I know it's hard, because the youngsters don't want to hear it. They 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 don't want to hear it, and it's hard. So you have to build a connection with these youngsters. You can't just come in and tell them what you think they should do, or what you think they should do, or what you think they need to hear. You have to show them. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. And I'm not only talking to the youngsters, because what I'm witnessing now is a lot of the older homies, people that should be teaching the youngsters, they beef on the internet. You see grown ass men out here hollering and yelling every day on the internet. Sometimes even with kids. I see some of these dudes that's supposed to be OGs over here arguing on the internet with kids, people that could be their son, their nephew. So this shit is sick, man. It's just this internet and this clout drug that's going on now is sickening, and it's crippling our community. You know what I mean? Black and brown. It's a terrible thing, because that's all I see on the internet. People don't want to see the positivity. They don't want to see people doing positive stuff. Even what I'm saying right now, they don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear who went up last night, who did this, what's going on, and it's sad, because we're seeing that we're at a high rate, more and more people being murdered, more and more people going to prison, and it's all for nothing. And it really don't matter, because you're gonna be forgotten. This shit is getting so common now, to where people don't even remember you a year later. You're not gonna be talked about a year later. They're gonna be on to the next. We lost so many prominent people, watched them die. And the crazy thing is, we watched these shit in real time. We watched the homie Nip die, get murdered in real time on the internet. That's crazy. And to me, Nipsey was the last best influence. I really had a lot of respect for Nip, because to me, he was the bridge between the young and old. To me personally, you know what I mean. He was right there in the middle. The youngsters respected him, and the older homies respected him. You know what I mean. Nip was younger than me. I got a lot of respect for Nip, and you've heard countless homies, older homies, say it, that they have respect for Nip. Man, Nip was one of a kind, and we don't get those every. You know what I mean. We don't get that. I don't know if we ever have someone like a Nip again. And my thing is, when I'll get to that later when I talk about these indictments. But people like Nip, it's sad because they leave here, man, and we lose a lot. We don't just lose that person. We lose the influence. We lose the impact. You know what I mean? We lose the future because Nip was going to do some great things. But at the same time, we all have a past and we all have to leave here. I speak about that a lot. That's one thing we can't deny. We all got to go. So I ain't tripping on death. We all got to leave this place. That's definite. We all got to go, but it's how we go and the legacy we leave and where do we go when we leave here, man. Don't let yourself die in vain, youngsters, older homies, whoever's hearing this. Don't die in vain. Don't die behind some beef, internet beef, some rap beef, some bullshit ass street beef that don't mean shit. Or don't go to prison for 100 years over nothing, homie, because them same neighborhood you going all out for, you killing for, that female you killing for ain't gonna mean shit 5 years down the line. Trust me. So I'm gonna leave that right there. That's question number one, Lydia from Compton. Beefing on the internet. I don't even know why I'm talking about that, but it's real shit. Beef on the internet is boo-boo, goofy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to leave that right there. The second question, questions and answers, Q&A with G-Lew. Man, indictments. Like UGK said, the feds in town. They said, what do you think about the recent, what is it? The recent indictments being handed down. What is your take on it? The recent indictments going down and what people are saying and doing about it. That's crazy. As you all know, it's been some indictments just recently came. Oh, let me go back to this because I want to go over the last week. Not only these it's so much going on right now. We're in some times right now with so much shit going on right now. And I don't think these people, if you look at what's going on, these not only the feds, the police, these cities, you got Donald Trump back in office. That's a whole different thing. I think it's really a plan and a plot right now to wipe all this shit out. All this shit y'all glorifying and thinking it's cool and on here, you know, pushing and all that. I think they're on a mission right now to wipe all that out. You know what I mean? Think about it, especially in LA. You got to think it's deeper than these indictments. It's deeper than Big U. All this. You got the Olympics coming. In a couple years. It's a plan to really. If you look at what they did, look in El Salvador and all these places where they just. I think it's really a plan against so-called gang members, so-called street, all this shit. They got a plan, homie, right now. So we really got to wise up. Y'all think about what you're doing. We all come from something. We all affiliated. We all doing that. But at the end of the day, as you see when you get older, that shit don't mean shit. Ask homies. I just got a homie who just came home from doing 38 years. He was on my show Friday. Blink. Known gang member. You know what I mean? He from VNG. You know what I mean? He was caught up in some big shit. You know what I mean? Back in the day. But ask him what that shit means now. It don't mean nothing, homie. Ask him how many years he did, how many homies was there for him. Shit don't mean what you think it means. Not to say that your status or your history or your gang or your neighborhood don't mean nothing. We all love where we from. We gonna be from that forever. But as you grow as a man, you gotta realize, homie, you gotta be a man first. The gang shit don't mean nothing, homie. You gotta be a man first, and men respect men. Once you get into this world, you move around. You know what I mean? Travel, maybe go to the pen. Different places, you realize that men respect men. It ain't about no gang, homie. When you get in certain places or certain round people, men respect men. And if you a man first and you a G, people are gonna respect you, homie. You could get along with anyone from any neighborhood for the most part, if it ain't too personal. Because men respect men, and you gotta learn. I don't care what gang you from, you gotta learn to be a one-man gang at the end of the day. And that's how you gotta keep your mentality. You know what I mean? So that's even me. That's how I roll. I don't have to roll with homies and worry about homies. And I love my homies, but I don't. You know what I mean? I roll solo, homie. I keep God with me. And you know that's it. I'm a man first, and I know the energy I bring, so I feel I could go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about shit because I know the energy I'm bringing. I sound like a tough guy, but it's the energy you bring, and if you represent yourself as a real man, other homies are gonna respect that. And if it's something else that comes with it, it comes with it. Cause I ain't afraid of nothing, homie. You know what I mean? But God, you know what I mean? God has my last say. So if I gotta go, I gotta go. Cause we all gotta go. But it's about the energy you bring, the man you are, what you represent, and how you represent yourself, homie. It's respect, period. So, indictments. Let me get back on that. As you all know, it was a big indictment. The homie Big U, um, quote unquote, rolling 60s indictment. Even though I think it's really deeper than that, it ain't really about the rolling 60s. I don't think. I think it's about Big U. Definitely was a plan to take Big U down. They got some more key figures that are from that section of the 60s. But if you look at it, I don't really think it's a rolling 60s indictment. It's more about Big U and some few other characters and people that they're placing this in this indictment. And I really think it's a Big U takedown, period. Shout out to the homie Big U. As you see right there, that's the homie Big U. That's the homie Bear Claw. That's Big U's right hand man. They both got taken out in indictment. That was a few years ago. Got to meet Big, kick it with the homie. I've interviewed him a couple times on my show. You'll probably go check that in the archives with a good dude. You know what I mean? Good dude. I hate to see that happen to him. You know what I mean? But at the same time, no way am I taking up for him. I don't know what his situation is, what the feds have. I know when the feds come, they come. They don't fuck around. They have their I's dotted and their T's crossed. So, I don't know. I know a lot of people have a lot of hate. It's a love-hate situation with Big U. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. Whatever side you're on, whether it be from an enemy, because Big U goes back many, many years, built his name up in the streets, and he's a real figure out here in these streets. But Big U over the years has become, a real positive man. I'm not talking about the shit, whatever the Fed's saying, that's not my business. I don't know. I know this man to be, over the years, a positive man and has helped a lot of people, helped a lot of kids get into college, NFL, done a lot for his community. You know what I mean? He was responsible for Nipsey Hussle's rise to fame and in the music business, even though they had their ups and downs. I know some people even blame Big U for Nipsey's death. I'm not one of them. I'm not, because I'm just not into conspiracy theories. I deal with the facts. We seen what the facts were live on camera. I don't know. You know what I mean? And again, that's not me taking up for Big U. That's up to Big U and God. If he did have something to do with, I don't know. That's not my business. I don't deal with conspiracy theories, though. I deal with facts. So I wouldn't put that on the homie. But I know him to be a good dude, has done a lot for his community. And let's keep it real. When you a G, homie, you raised up. Big U is where he's from. Where he's from. We all know where he's from. He's done what he's done in the past. He's been doing this thing from the 70s, 80s, 90s on up. Been to prison, been back. So we all know probably what he's done. And I just think that the police, different organizations, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? When you come from where you come from, whether you change or not, they don't like that, homie. They don't. They don't buy any of that shit you doing. None of that shit you claiming positive. Yeah, it's cool, but we don't like you. So I'm not one that's for the organizations of the police and doing all that. So I'm not one that's happy when another black man, brown man, whoever goes down by the system, bro, because they don't have our best interests. You know what I mean? So speaking on indictments and things like that, hey, like I said again, that's up to Big U. I don't know what his fate is gonna be. He's gonna have to deal with that. But I don't celebrate other black men, brown men, whoever going down, and especially we supposed to be homies from the street. We know we come with this G shit, homie. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm sure you got a pass. You know what I'm saying? You got a pass too. If you a G, you come from the streets, homie. You got a pass too. But it's about what you're doing now. And even if you're still doing some shit, again, that ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? That's up to him, the feds, and God. But I'm not going to celebrate another man going down on by the hands of the organization. And that's what I see all these people on the internet, all these so-called street dudes doing, celebrating this man going down. Even if he's your enemy. You know what I mean? If he's your enemy, you're supposed to get it on the street. You're supposed to go see this man and handle your business, right? Like a G. You're not supposed to talk about it on the internet and assist the police or the feds on getting this man locked up. So I don't get that part. But hey, who am I? So speaking on indictments, I think it's a sad situation. You know what I mean? More power, respect to the brother. Hope he figures it out. Hey, check it out. We are back. We are back. You guys probably don't know, but I had to take a cut. I had to cut right quick for a good minute, and we are back. I don't even know where I was. I had to do a cut, so this is take 2. With Q&A, trying to get back on track to what I was talking about with this indictment thing. And like I said, with the whole thing with Big U and, everyone that went down, mainly Big U. I'm not speaking on everyone else because a lot of that thing is seems to me to be somewhat of a setup, just to get everyone to cooperate on Big U. It seems like Big U is the main one they want. And after reading the whole indictment and the paperwork, shout out to my brother Spanks, man. We listened to on a drive. We took the Palmdale and we were listening back to the whole 107-page indictment. Someone broke it down, and it was a lot of shit I did not know. But at the end of the day, too, what I found out, it is not all the way. The indictment hasn't been filed. It's a complaint. So I think they're trying to build up everything now. They got them in custody. I don't even know how they could do all these things without something all the way filed and official. But like I said, these are the games the feds play. They're different, so it's a complaint right now, but I'm sure by the time we hear this or end of the week, it'll be all the way filed. Homie don't have no bail, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is this: scratch all that. I'm not even speaking on the case, none of that. It's none of my business. That's not what I'm here to do. I let all these other dudes do that. But my whole thing is, like I said again, I just do not like or understand how so-called street dudes, gang members or whatever, other Crips, other Bloods, whatever, can celebrate another member's incarceration or downfall, being taken to jail. Even homies always said, I don't wish jail on my worst enemy, but these dudes are wishing jail on Big U, clearly, And I just think that's sad. I think it's sad that everyone can make content. Anyone can do what they want, but go on other people's platforms and just act like a prosecutor. You know what I mean? It's just, and other people just let people do it. And I don't know if people are afraid afraid of these people or afraid to lose their seat or just bamboozled or what the hell. I don't know. Some people have loud voices. You know what I mean? Clearly. Some people have very loud voices. And what the hell is that? Some people have very loud voices and it's clear. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's a shame that people celebrate another man's downfall like that. And my whole thing is this, even with the indictment thing and all that, like who replaces these people? You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Who replaces the Big U's, you know what I mean? And these people, I understand the bad things they did. They got to deal with that if that's the case. You know what I mean? Whatever their situation is. I'm not speaking on that, but I'm talking about the positive things that people do in their communities. Who replaces them with doing that? There's no one that does that. Look at what happened with Nipsey when Nipsey was killed. It don't even seem like it's been 5-6 years ago, 2019. That's crazy. But who replaces Nip? Look at the situation that the area Nip, you know what I mean, over there in that area, bro. Like Nip brought that area life, brought it up. It was a lot going on. People love to go over there. Now that area is just, no disrespect to the homies over there doing their thing or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the light that used to shine over there is no longer there, and there's nothing replacing what Nip did. That's what I'm trying to say. And now with Big U, who's replacing that? Again, say what you want about him, whatever, the bad things, whatever. But the man was doing some positive things in his community, and who replaces that? That's my thing. No one's going to replace that. None of these dudes yapping and praising the homies' downfall. None of them are going to replace anything positive for the communities. And this is just a way, again, that's why I'm saying I don't celebrate this, because the organization that be it the feds, LAPD, sheriffs, all that, when they take these people down, I don't celebrate that shit, man, because to me it seems like it's a plot, you know what I mean, to do these things and take these people out of here, bro. And people are not understanding that, homie. You know what I mean? And like I said, at the end of the day, there's nothing to replace these things or these people. You know what I'm saying? So scratch all the bad shit. I'm talking about the good shit these dudes do. And again, if you come from the streets, you a gang member or done shit in the streets, you know what comes with this shit, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Even dudes that done bad, try to do good, they have a past. It is what it is. We can't celebrate. If you a street dude, you don't celebrate another dude's downfall, because you got skeletons and shit in your closet too. I'm sure you won't want to come out. But again, I'm not taking up for Big U, none of that. I'm just speaking on the facts that are presented and how it looks when these people are doing what they're doing, bro. But yeah, it's a sad day. Indictments came down. Like I said, a lot of the other people involved in the indictment, I don't understand. A couple of people I do, but for the most part, I think a lot of those people are in that indictment mainly to try to cooperate and get the case on Big U to stick. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. God bless that brother and his family, because those are the people that suffer. He has family, he has kids. Homie got a kid in the NFL right now that plays for the LA Chargers. And what do you think the effects of this are going to be? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I just hope that doesn't happen, but you know how these things work. They can low-key blackball the homie, you know what I mean, the youngster. I can see if he was playing in another state, but he plays in L.A., so this is all over the news, you know, so it's just a sad day for the family, I think. Lastly, let me answer this question before I get up out of here. Q&A, question number 3. G-Lew, what do you think about the current state of hip-hop in 2025? And you know, that's a good question, because I'm a man of hip-hop. You know, I love hip-hop, music, period, but hip-hop is what I was raised on, what I do. You know what I mean? I do music, so that's a good question. Shout out to the homie Rob. The state of hip-hop, you can see it yourself, man. Look, what's going on this week. The state of, I'm going to break this down 2 ways. I'm going to speak on this briefly, then I'm going to speak my part, what I think. But overall, the state of hip-hop, I think it's in trouble. You know, I think we bled it from where hip-hop was to where it is now. I think it seems like we've bled it out. We've bled it to death. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you bleed something out, meaning that you get all you can out of it, and we're seeing now the aftermath of that. You know what I mean? When we kind of take the negativity and just, there was no mixture. See, hip hop used to be a whole mixture, a gumbo pot. You know what I mean? We had a lot of different things in hip hop. You know, that's what made hip hop great. You had your hip hop Tribe Called Quest, LL Cool J, you know, Run DMCs and Queen Latifahs and MC Lights and these things mixture. Then you had the Ghetto Boys, the NWAs, the Luke, MC Breeds, and all these different type of ingredients in hip hop to balance it out. You know what I mean? The last 10, 15, 20 years, there's been no balance in hip hop. You know what I mean? And that may be from the what do you call that? From the people who control hip hop. You know what I mean? And it's all about the dollar. And it's a lot of things that go on to that, but there's been no balance in hip hop. So it's just one thing, and it seems like we bled it out, and it's just violence, man, violence and killing, and these youngsters, the way they do hip hop now. Not saying that it wasn't about that, because gangster rap ran the 90s. Tupac and we see what happened with Pac, rest in peace. But a lot of people took some of these elements, man, and ran with them, and there's no more balance in hip hop. There's no balance for the women, the young women, or the young homies. So all they're getting now is one thing, and that's just like negativity, man. Nothing to grow their minds spiritually, mentally, you know what I mean, or productive, you know what I mean. It's just one thing. Homies got to get it. How they get it? You got to kill. You got to have a strap. You know what I mean? And the women got to shake their ass. You got to have a BBL, or you got to get it out the strip club, or get it out of one of these dudes. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's just no balance, man, and no disrespect to anyone that's in the game doing their thing. Because people that come from the ghetto, the inner cities, man, they have no other way out. So if that's what they got to do it, homie, people are going to do whatever they got to do to get that dollar. So it's not really the people making the music that you can blame sometimes. It's the people above that make them push the buttons and make it happen, because they know what they're doing. It's almost like they're pimping these kids, and that's been going on since the 60s. And they had Motown and the 50s, the doo-wops. They would go get these kids from the inner city because that's where all the great music, the talent came from, and they would pimp them. You know, it's just over time, it got better. The money got better. People learned a little more, but the same thing is still going on. Even though it's more independence in the game now and there's less record labels that do that, overall, though, the mentality is still the same. They take the talent, pimp them out. And even though you may think you doing the pimping, they are still doing the pimping. Because now music has changed. It's all digital. It streams. And guess what? You know how that works with the streams. Pennies on the dollar. But you still have the Spotifys, the Apples, and all that who are billion-dollar companies. You know, so you do the math on me. But what I was going to speak on, too, is I don't want to speak on the state of hip-hop overall and with the youngsters, because that's not my lane. The youngsters is always going to run hip-hop, and it's a young man's sport. But like I said, I just wish these youngsters can do better, because just like you said, just this week we had another shooting, another killing. Rest in peace, I think, to the young homie Say So P. I didn't really know much about the dude, you know what I mean, until now. Rest in peace to him. And shout out to the homie Sauce Walker. He was with him. I'm aware of him from Houston, Texas. He was shot, but it seems like it's just week in, week out. If someone's not getting shot and killed, they're getting RICO cases. You know, so it's a lot going on with this hip hop, man. It really is. And we got to make some changes, or it's not going to be anymore. They're slowly trying to take, I don't say they can't take hip hop out, because it's something that's made from the street. It's the people. It's up to people. But they can change a lot of things, and a lot of changes coming and happening. And we just got to be aware. But I'm going to speak about the state of hip hop I live in, and that's just hip hop overall. I think hip hop has grown a lot to where, like I said, it's always a young man's game. But these past 10, 20 years have proven, like, unlike before, they used to try to push you out of hip hop if you were a certain age, or you too old, and this, and that. Like these youngsters say, I don't want to be this age rapping. Now they that age rapping. So stop it. You know what I'm saying? But rap has proved that now you could be older, you can grow in hip hop. Like they used to try to push that out, even though all the other genres do that. Country music, rock, R&B. These people be 100 years old, still doing shows, still selling records. Hip hop, for some reason, they try to push the older people out. But that has changed now, because you see a lot of the older artists are the ones really making the moves. Of course, the youngsters are the, you know, on the radio 24/7 and making the noise. But overall, a lot of the stuff in hip hop, the stuff, people that run it, the people that do major shows, tours, and all that are the elders in hip hop. You know what I mean? So hip hop has grown. I think that's great. Shout out to the people just still doing big things in the game and showing that hip hop can grow and sustain. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. Another thing that is a trip, though, man. Who would have thought in 2025 we would see all these moguls? Do you know how many moguls? And this is going, not even talking about the youngsters, the more older. All these moguls and big time like people would be locked up. You got Suge Knight locked up right now currently. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Bad Boy Death Row, biggest shit in the 90s, period. Both of them are locked up. You know what I'm saying? You got R. Kelly locked, off topic. He's not hip hop, but R. Kelly had a big play in hip hop and R&B. All your favorite hip hoppers collaborated with him. He's locked up. You got the Young Dirk dude locked up. You know, who else? Young Thug, or the youngster. He just came home, but I mean, look at what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit off topic, but that's on topic. You feel me? So the state of hip hop, man, it's kind of, I don't know, man. But I think hip hop will never die. At one time, Nas said his hip hop dead, had an album. A lot of people didn't like that, but I got where he was coming from because really the art, the form, the love of hip hop has been dying for years. But hip hop will never die because, like I said, hip hop is something from the streets, from the roots, from your soul. Like hip hop is just what we live, what we do. You know what I mean? We live hip hop, so it's bigger than the music. So the state of hip hop, man, it's still alive, and I think it's just up to us to keep it alive, and to do what we need to do to keep it alive, man. And I just hope the youngsters can do their part, and I just hope the youngsters can be more creative. You know what I mean? Bring some more things to the table, just besides the shoot 'em up, bang bang shit. You know what I mean? Because all that is old and done now, and you see what they're doing. They putting Ricos on everyone. So we got to come up with something a little bit different, and we got to show people, the youngsters coming up is a better way. You know what I mean? We got to get back to some real shit. There's a lot of stuff you can rap and talk about. I think shout out to Kendrick Lamar who single-handedly I think saved hip hop this past year. Truthfully, besides all the beef shit with Drake, of course that was major and the biggest diss song ever. But single-handedly, Kendrick Lamar came back, I think, and saved hip-hop because it was in trouble. And I think he single-handedly came back and did some major shit. That GNX album, man, is a classic, and no one ever really thought because it was kind of just like dropped out of nowhere. I think more of a mixtape. Even I think I've heard people say that was just something he was putting out. He was going to bring his real album later, but that album is so big, it did what it did. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kendrick, man. And letting us know we could be creative and do some major things and in hip hop. So that's what I think about this current state of hip hop. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. It's G-Lew. It's a G-Lew show. Q&A. We're gonna be coming back with this every week. So any questions you want me to answer, let me know. Put it in the comments or get at me at IG. Follow me on IG at the G-Lew show. All one word, the G-Lew show. DM me. We got merch available as well. DM me for the t-shirts, golf hats. And also this show was sponsored by the 5th annual G-Lew Show reunion coming April 26th. Save that date right there. April 26th is going down. We at the mansion in LA. RSVP DD Harrison on IG for information. You know what I mean? But it's going down. It's a G-Lew Show, Q&A. Check out all our other shows we have going on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hey, man, we up out of here. It's Q&A. I'm G-Lew, man. It's a G-Lew show. Peace and love, everyone.